Contract farming is a model that's not new in the Nigeria agricultural space. The concept is simple. The farmer signs a contract agreement with a major industrial off-taker. With this contract, the farmer is obligated to sell his produce after harvest to the off-taker at market price or better. This ensures that the farmer has a ready market for his produce and the off-taker a steady supplier. The Business Innovation Facility, however, discovered that informality in the maize market constituted a major constraint, which has had a negative effect on the growth of the maize market, resulting to farmers turning out with low quality yields, which produce high percentage of rejects and low returns from their farm produce. Because smallholder farmers are so informal in their operations, they lack the adequate technical know-how of the right farming practices. For example, farmers tend to use saved grains from previous harvest as seeds rather than improved seeds, which would produce a better harvest. These farmers may have access to inputs, but may not know how to effectively and efficiently combine these inputs to produce the right results. Farmers also lack information on the standards and quality needed by large off-takers. Therefore, their produce attracts very low pricing.
When we looked at the potential causes of these challenges, quality of maize stuck out as one of them. So essentially, when you don't get good maize, chickens, they're living organisms, they're like people. If you don't eat healthy, you're generally not so healthy. And then the same applies with the maize. So we would get maize which had unacceptable levels of aflatoxin, which generally just wears down the immunity of the bird, which makes it very susceptible to diseases, generally speaking.
To solve this constraint, the Business Innovation Facility developed a different type of contract farming model, which introduced a new player who is often referred to as a value chain integrator. And the responsibility of the value chain integrator? Simple. They are like a one-stop shop where the farmer gets access to the right inputs, like improved seeds, fertilizers, and technical know-how on the best farming practices, all bundled into one service. These bundled services are embedded into the new contract agreement between the off-taker and the farmers. The value chain integrator helps the contract farmer gain the trust of the farmers, manage the cropping cycle to achieve the terms of the contract for both contract farmer and smallholder farmer alike. This role is typically best played by an astute inputs company. In this new model, input companies like Value Seeds, who are solely responsible for selling seeds to farmers, are convinced, in addition to selling seeds, to play the role of these value chain aggregators, considering that they already have a standing relationship with the farmers.
Now, what the farmer needs now is how to make judicious use of these improvements, these improved inputs, so that his yield, the yield that he obtains from the maize plot, can be increased. And that can come up through giving him a technical back support services, whereby the farmer is trained on the best bet agronomic practices that will ensure high yield.
So we have registered more than 10,000 farmers for the maize and soybean crop. So we can say through this program, our reach to the farmers has increased, and it increased in the remote areas. They are getting all these inputs on credit, and that is helpful for them also.
According to the new contract agreement, the service rendered by the input company is paid for by the industrial off-taker. These expenses incurred by the off-taker will be deducted when buying the farmer's produce during harvest time. The model has proven to be very successful where it has been practiced. Smallholders are having better yields and better quality produce to present to off-takers, and thus their incomes have increased significantly from producing about 0.7 tons per hectare to an average of 3 tons per hectare.
Some of the farmers are now even have started improving the condition in which they are living, because when you go along their communities, you notice that even their houses have a better look now as a result of this income they are generating through the additional yield they've got and sold, and the prices in the market are very good.
Gaskiya mun ji daɗi wannan rana, mun yi farin ciki saboda wakwa ta kawo mana wasu abubuwa na ci gaba.
We've had reduced mortality, we've had increased productivity, we have more fertile eggs that are coming out now, our hatchability has also increased as well, and all around the standards have increased. So without getting too technical, there's definitely been a positive effect as a result of the measures we've taken to increase productivity. As far as carrying on with the initiative, we were very, very impressed and motivated by the project we ran. So much so that we have a dedicated company which is now engaged in contract farming using this BIF model. We like that it's a sustainable program. We like that it's economically driven on its own. So we really like those aspects of it. So yes, so we have gone ahead with it, and we do intend to really, really take this program far and get as many farmers as we can into the project.
Government now, especially the Kaduna State government, developed interest in what we are doing and approached us to see how we can assist them in trying to better the lives of their farmers in the state.
Most of the communities we work in are farming communities, and when we improve the inputs and the outputs in the farming, it has a reverberation on the income generation of that activity, and ultimately helps to exit people out of extreme poverty. We started with the agricultural inputs, and we were able to provide quality agricultural supplies to 2,700 farmers in those 3 communities, and we've been very fortunate that the investment actually worked really well. There's a very good growth so far, not only the inputs but also the extension services, the training and the monitoring that the farmers got was tremendously helpful, and the farmers, at least the feedback we're getting so far, they couldn't be happier. We are expecting bumper harvests in those 3 communities this year.
Move to the issue of aggregation centers. And the aggregation centers came as a result of a collaboration with the World Bank, which centered on the maize value chain in Kaduna State. These aggregation centers were built to hand over to the Maize Association so that they would run them as businesses. But we know also that there could be competency challenges. There could be issues, capacities, and all that. And therefore, we brought in the BIF to develop a business model. And that business model has been discussed thoroughly. It has been presented to the Maize Association, and suggestions have been made. It will give investors confidence to come in.